Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prospect All-Star game. This is going to be fun and messing around on Vertigo and 51 changes. Here I'm joined by Clueless.
Yes, hello. We had some fun times, but we're here. We're a little late, but we're here nonetheless.
Yeah, it
Hopping straight into it.
seems like the teams have been distributed. These are your All-Stars. Oh, there seems to be a stand-in for the All-Stars. Lil General is standing in for String Bean, it seems like. But overall, we have our
Okay.
All Stars here, our prospect All Stars. How do you feel about this, Clueless?
I can't get over the fact that I'm currently watching someone climb crane. I'm sorry. So I am overall pretty
Oh,
good. Swayze getting destroyed trying to climb crane. This is gonna be a silly time. Is there a scaffolding? Okay, penguin trying to knife someone. Yeah,
yep.
no, it's pretty good. These are definitely all players that I think highly, highly deserve it. I'll take Little General as the stand-in for sure. Um, I'm sure it was picked by String Bean, so we'll let that one slide.
Why
Oh,
you
and
guys like
that's
this stream? We're running it back.
oh
Okay, we're getting confirmation that apparently this is getting run back now.
oh okay. We're running this game back.
Yeah, they're gonna run it back.
Oh,
They've
okay,
they've they've done the meta discovery. So here we go. We're gonna get it nice and fresh.
okay. Well,
Um,
um that's good. Well, I guess we can talk a little bit about our All Stars here today. So in our top 10, we have our MVP, Nitro, and then we
yes.
have Swayze, I believe, as the second highest rated player. And I'm just confirming everything here while I open up the stats. And I actually sent out some messages to ask our All Stars how they felt, what they did differently. Third was Penguin Flops. Penguin Flops is a returning All Star. And then there's Lines from the Tanukis, Skimmix, Leadbone, Zulu, Heartworm, Blood, and then String Bean. And so you played with Nitro, Clueless. What do you think was different this time around from his play style, from him playing, being able to get from 11th rated last season to now being the best player in Prospect?
I think to a degree, I'll give him some props for doing a lot of. From what I understand, he grinded pretty hard. But I also think a lot of our team structure was based around setting Nitro up. So I would make fun of him a little bit. I'll give him some light ribbing again, as much as it says entry on the stats sheet. Uh, I would like to joke that we generally threw some people in front of him so that he could come in and clean everyone up a bit. But he also did have times where we would just send him and he would just kill three people and we'd win the round off of it. So he definitely deserves it, as much as we'll give him some ribbing for uh, not always being exactly where we'd want him to be, but he definitely. I couldn't quite tell you what the playstyle difference, other than he was very much focused on pumping those numbers and creating the opening space for us. So versus last season, I believe he was IGLing for a large chunk of it. So
Gotcha. Well, Nitro did. So I asked Nitro, what would you say contributed to your MVP season? And what he said was 1 hour of DM before every match and illicit substances, is what he said. Jokingly, of course.
jokingly,
But
sure.
yeah, I think that 1 hour of DM and those 1v1s before the games is what he definitely credited to those to the MVP season, which is excellent.
Well, something worked, that's for sure.
I also sent out a message to Blood, who was a first time All Star and a first time player in CSC this season. I was Blood's teammate for the latter part of the season, and I think he's an excellent player, great, very aggressive player. So the roles fit perfectly. And I asked him early on. He was drafted third overall, and actually um, one of the only two players who were drafted in the first round that became an All Star. So I asked him, since this is your first season in CSC, did you feel confident that you were going to be an All Star? And he said he was quite confident from the very get go. He said that during combine he was wide swinging everyone and hitting heads, and so he felt pretty confident, which is great. I mean, he was drafted third overall by AVI, and he showed for it individually.
Oh yeah, no. from the several times, Blod was the person I didn't enjoy even before you were at it. It's probably the person who was always like if the cornerstone, I guess, of a lot of what AVI would do. So I think definitely a player that if you asked me to pick and I wasn't looking at the stats sheet would come to mind pretty quick. So
Yeah. So, Coolest, who do you think is your favorite? I guess this is very subjective. I'm not saying personality
ooh,
wise, but who would you say is your favorite All Star this season?
I have to say, I think my personal favorite, even though it's an answer I probably don't want to give, I'll probably have to give some shout outs to pick a favorite for Lines.
Oh,
Solely because of the nonsense that was happening around on being on one of the worst teams, but super consistently checking and seeing that pretty much any games they won were largely contributed to Lions showing up and dropping like 28 to 30 kills uh, in their wins, which is really impressive to carry a team who I believe had like within 3 weeks had 3 players be swapping around, like had one player swapped out like quite a few times between weeks, week to week. So I'll give Lions some credit. Definitely, like to a degree, created the wins YC had a lot of the time. So
Hey guys, can I join?
and
why are you
wait,
here?
Uh,
Nitro here.
Never broke.
The server broke.
Oh well, that's unfortunate. Well, we're gonna keep talking about it. So, really quickly, right before I get to you, Nitro, you mentioned Lions, Clueless. That was a perfect segue to the next player I actually shot a question to, and I asked about exactly what you said. How they were able to, despite the team struggles throughout the season, how they were able to still play quite phenomenally, especially compared to last season. I mean, Lions last season played with two all stars in Mike and Halapine Code, and Tugglebub was a great IGL. And hey, that YC team, Halapine Code, Tugglebub, and Mike, they won contender this season, right? So
Correct.
I asked them, so what was different this season? And they said that they were given that freedom to be able to play the roles that they wanted to play, and said screw it and frag. So um, yeah, massive
Speaking
shout
of,
out to Lines. Oh,
Hi.
here it is, Lines and Nitro.
speaking of,
We were just gassing you up, Lines. We already gassed up Nitro early on, and so we didn't really
yeah.
want to talk about it again.
Wait, what? No,
Hey,
I
let's
want to
go.
see.
Nitro, the team,
No,
the team was centered around setting him up, quote unquote,
no.
letting Nitro
Actually,
hate.
no. That is
Right?
not really. That is not really the thing. So here's how a team was set up. So,
Oh no.
Clues, you're the captain. You should know. Why didn't you correct Satang on this? I
Oh,
am
this is
not.
all for Clueless.
This
I
is for
asked Clueless.
me. I
This is
that
for
was
Clueless.
I always intended to set you up. Just so you know, I did credit that there was quite a few times where you would just win rounds on your own though. So
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not the star. Well, I'm not traditionally a star player role wise. I'm. I would compare myself to Yakindar in a sense because I'm the space
Oh,
maker and the opener for the team. I am the one going in first most of the time. That's why if you check the stats page, I would have the highest amount of 2Ks in the whole prospect tier. And that's just me entering into a side, but not getting more than that because I'm not, I'm not the multi-fragger. I'm not the big fragger. But
well,
it is sort of centered about around me because I get the kills, but the rest of the team are also set up. Jawa, for example, was also set up for openings. Scary and XWAP as well were set up for lurks and like opportunities to frag as well. So it's
for
not
sure.
just me.
No, it wasn't just you, but to a degree. We'll move on for now. But yes, I'll let you some drop the info there. But
So this
um,
is like a podcast style stream now.
well, yeah. I
we're
mean,
podcast streaming.
we're podcast streaming, just having some fun. I mean, we were jumping. We saw a little bit of that last round on Vertigo where Penguin tried to knife Skimmix and instead got shot in the face. But now we're trying to see how this next game goes. But um, so Lion, since you're here, I know I initially sent out a question about how you felt this season, what was a little bit different. Could you elaborate on it?
Dude, I miss Tuggle. Listen. I would 100% run back a season where I feel like I'm not doing fucking anything. Can I cuss?
Well, you already did, so
I
did,
already
too late.
did. Too late. I'd rather go back to a season where I felt like I'm not doing anything and I'm just like sitting in random spots on the map and I feel like, you know, I'm not benefiting the team at all and just kind of holding space and win, then frag out of my mind and just do whatever and then lose the season. I'm definitely more of a for wins player than for stats player at the end of the day. Um so this season was definitely tumultuous for me.
Yeah,
that's
you.
That's
understandable.
fair.
Yeah, last season. Well, season 9, you were put in just anchor positions, right? "Quote unquote" support roles, bitch roles,
Bitch
to
rolls, yeah.
to accommodate the team to get all of the big frags. This season, you're the only veteran. You have to, lead the team while still trying to putting yourself to different roles, right? And trying to
Yeah. Well,
play
I
more smart roles.
originally I really wanted to just no brain op this season, or I guess season 10 since it's
Ooh.
over. I just wanted to no brain op. We saw the one game that I got to op like more than like a quarter of the rounds. I think I got maybe like 6 7 rounds in it. It immediately pumped up my rating by like a whole 0.3, and I became the number one opper in prospect for like that week and the next off of one game. I think I could be the opper 1.18 right above Skimmix had I had a season to do that, but
So you're
that's the way the cookie
saying
crumbles.
you're saying
Uh-oh.
we should expect to see you
The
holding the op
lines
a lot
up
more next
next
season.
season, yeah, huh?
Lines danger up.
Dude, if Tuggle lets me, fuck yeah, dude. If Sharpie stays in contender, um, I know Sharpie doesn't really like opping all that much, dude. I'll fucking do it.
Doing
I
the
want to op
homies.
so bad.
It's all good. I understand. I've been gassing myself up just to start opping because Jawa is very picky about when he wants the op in his hands.
That's a way to put it.
Hey, so I actually got news that the server's having issues and we have conflicts throughout the night, so we won't be able to run it back one more time. So I
No.
think we're gonna
No.
have to close this a little early. But
Welcome.
Can we
hey,
still continue the
No, we'll
the,
just
the podcast
we'll
style stream? I'm
I
quite
would love
enjoying
to
this
do that.
actually.
I would love to do that on the side, but I also don't want to hold up our lovely observer and clueless as well. So maybe we should put up a question mark for the media committee to um have a prospect podcast, because I was shooting out messages left and right, and I have some pretty cool insight even from the champions UPS. So maybe next time we can put in a plug to come back, and Clueless and I can host, and we can have the prospect all stars for a guest podcast. What do you think, Clueless? Would you be down?
I'm down. I'd do that. I'd do that for sure.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what I'm hearing is that we just branch off from the CSC podcast and we just make a prospect exclusive podcast next season
yeah.
and run
Well,
it through Combine. See, we're gassing up
oh no.
media get on this. Nitro, you're in charge.
What? I
Um,
never accepted. I
Nitro.
never consented. No.
No, it's all good. That sounds good. I definitely love to do that, but
Season
yes,
11 is the media
sadly,
season.
let's respect everyone's time, and we'll have to go. As much as I'd love to sit here and chat and not really do anything to a degree, but
Did you discuss the question you asked me, Satan?
I
And then
did.
my
I did
answers?
tell. Yes, I did mention the illicit substances. Indeed.
Yes.
illicit
Yo, Nitro's
substances.
taking drugs?
Yeah, I'm like Lance Armstrong.
Nice.
Anyways, okay.
All right,
That's
we'll
enough
cut
for
that
now.
off.
Let's drop off. So I hope everybody has a good night.
Yes, have a good night. Sorry we did not get to see the wonderful game other than the one round. So
Good night, stream.
You only got one round?